Navigating ISF documentation for agricultural imports. Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we will be discussing ISF documentation requirements for food and agriculture imports, with a specific focus on fresh produce. Importing food and agricultural products requires careful attention to customs regulations and documentation to ensure compliance and the efficient movement of goods. Let's explore the key considerations and best practices for ISF documentation in the context of food and agriculture imports and fresh produce. ISF documentation refers to the collection and submission of specific information required by Customs and Border Protection (CBP) for imported goods. For food and agriculture imports and fresh produce, proper documentation is vital to meet health and safety regulations, verify product origin, and support accurate customs procedures. Importers of food and agriculture products, including fresh produce, must have a thorough understanding of customs regulations, as well as any additional regulatory requirements. This includes compliance with the Food and Drug Administration (FDA), the U.S. Department of Agriculture (USDA), and other applicable agencies. Accurate and detailed product descriptions are crucial for ISF documentation. For fresh produce, it is essential to provide precise information about the type of product, variety, origin, and packaging details. This helps customs authorities properly assess the goods and determine any applicable requirements or restrictions. Assigning the correct harmonized system HS code to fresh produce is essential for customs classification and determining the appropriate duty rates and regulations. Importers should closely review the HS codes specific to their fresh produce imports to ensure accurate ISF documentation. Importers must provide detailed information about their suppliers for fresh produce imports. This includes their full names, addresses, contact details, and any applicable quality or safety certifications. Ensuring the accuracy and completeness of supplier information supports traceability and compliance. Accurate country of origin information and details about the exporter are essential for ISF documentation. Importers must provide the correct country of origin and complete contact information for the exporter of the fresh produce. Commercial invoices and packing lists are critical components of ISF documentation for fresh produce imports. These documents provide detailed information about the products, including quantities, values, packaging types, and more. Importers should ensure that these documents accurately reflect the goods being imported. Certain fresh produce imports may require sanitary and phytosanitary SPS certificates to ensure compliance with health and safety regulations. Importers should verify if their products require SPS certificates and ensure that these documents accompany the ISF documentation. If importing organic fresh produce, importers must ensure compliance with organic certifications and verified programs. Documentation related to organic certification or participation in recognized programs should be submitted alongside the ISF documentation. For perishable fresh produce, temperature control documentation is crucial. Importers should maintain records of temperature controls implemented during transit to demonstrate compliance with food safety and quality requirements. Fresh produce imports may be subject to additional requirements set by the USDA Agricultural Marketing Service (AMS). Importers should familiarize themselves with any applicable AMS guidelines and documentation requirements to ensure compliance. Importers of fresh produce must comply with the Food Safety Modernization Act (FSMA) regulations. This may involve submitting documentation related to preventive controls, supplier verification, and other FSMA requirements as part of the ISF documentation. Certain fresh produce, such as fruits or vegetables subject to pesticide residue testing, may require certificates of analysis or laboratory reports. Importers should ensure that these documents are obtained and included in the ISF documentation if necessary. Importers should ensure that their ISF documentation for fresh produce imports is submitted accurately and in a timely manner. This includes providing accurate details about the imported goods, supplier information, and any applicable certifications or licenses. Maintaining accurate records of all ISF documentation and supporting documents related to fresh produce imports is vital for compliance. Importers should retain these records for the required period as specified by customs regulations and any additional regulatory authorities. Partnering with experienced customs brokers or industry experts is highly recommended for navigating the complexities of ISF documentation for fresh produce imports. Their expertise can help importers ensure compliance, accuracy, and timeliness in submitting the necessary documentation. Importers of fresh produce should be prepared for potential inspections or exams conducted by customs or other regulatory authorities. Documentation provided as part of the ISF should be readily available to support any examination or validation of compliance. Establishing effective communication channels with customs authorities, suppliers, and other stakeholders is essential for smooth ISF documentation for fresh produce imports. Timely and accurate communication facilitates compliance and resolves any issues that may arise during the customs clearance process. Importers should remain vigilant about changes in customs regulations, as well as any additional health, safety, or quality requirements for fresh produce imports. Regularly reviewing official resources and industry news keeps importers informed and proactive in maintaining compliance. Thank you for joining us today as we explored ISF documentation for food and agriculture imports, with a focus on fresh produce. Understanding the requirements for accurate and complete ISF documentation is crucial for importers in these sectors. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative videos on customs brokerage and international trade. We look forward to sharing more insights with you in future videos. Until then, take care and happy importing.